anybody can become anything with God. David became mighty with God because he understood the position of covenant. When Goliath rose up, 1 Samuel 17, and was intimidating the armies of Israel, there was nobody with enough power or enough experience to contend Goliath. David showed up. He was the least of everybody by natural standards. His brother looked at him and frowned at him. I know the pride in your heart. Are you a soldier? What are you doing here? Get out from here. You are only a boy. Because physically looking, he didn't match up. Even soldiers were afraid. Saul, that the Bible said was head and shoulder above everybody, was afraid. Who are you to come here to speak? Because they thought advantage in life was a function of physical stature. But there was something David knew. David relocated from his brother and went to the king. The king was not harsh, but when he looked at David, he started laughing. He said, you are a young boy. The man you are up against is a warrior from his youth. And the question I always ask myself is, if you affirm that Goliath was a warrior from his youth, why are you despising this youth? Is it not possible that this youth is also a warrior? But this is how men behave. This is how men operate. They want to overlook you, underrate you, and intimidate you. But if you know what David knew, nothing on earth can pull you down. David told the king, sir, respectfully speaking, in case you do not know, at some point I was keeping my father's sheep. A lion came, I heard it and tore it apart. I know something. A bear came, I heard it and tore it apart. I know something. Even this uncircumcised Philistine will go the same way. The moment he said uncircumcised, you know where the power of David was. The covenant. I may not be tall as Goliath. I may not wear an armor like Goliath. I may not be as experienced as Goliath. But I am standing on the covenant. And if I'm on the covenant, the God of heaven will back me up. That's my power. And when Saul saw that he could not dissuade him, he said, okay, go and try. At least let somebody fight. Even if you die, you will die a hero. But to my greatest dismay, when David came to Goliath, he was not intimidated by his size. I wish you studied about Goliath. Goliath is 3 meters tall, 9.8 cubits. His spear alone weighs 15 pounds. And somebody carries his shield in front of him. So when Goliath is fighting, a man is standing in front and is fighting. A man is under him. Because you can't hit his chest. The only place you can touch him is his leg. So somebody, a full-grown man, is standing in front with a shield. And the giant is standing and waving people off. That was who that boy of 17 saw, and he was not intimidated. What does he know about the covenant? And when he showed up, Goliath was offended. Why didn't you bring a soldier? Is it a boy you brought to intimidate and insult my pedigree? I'm a warrior. Bring a warrior here. He didn't know what he was up against. He thought he was fighting a man. He didn't know he was fighting a spirit. He didn't know he was fighting a covenant. He didn't know he was fighting the God of heaven. But David knew something. The Bible said Goliath began to curse him. Because when David wanted to fight, David did not even honor him by carrying a bow. David bent down, picked 5 stones. The guy said, what? Am I a dog that will come against me? Don't you have respect for me at all? And he started cursing David. But David said something. He said, you come against me with bows. You come against me with arrows. He said, but I come against you in the name of the Lord God of Israel, whose army you have defied. But that was not what got my attention. In 1 Samuel 17:48, the Bible said when Goliath wanted to approach David, you would think David would try to hold himself. Hope he said David charged at him. What kind of audacity is that? It is his understanding of the covenant. As you leave this meeting this morning, the things that were intimidating you, when you go back, you will charge at them. And David told him, today I will cut off your head. The birds of the earth will feed on you. And when David killed him, the Bible said there was no sword in his hand. David went, took his own sword, cut off his neck, carried the head up. He became the champion of Israel. That place where you were overlooked, you will become the champion. But you must understand the covenant. And you know the beautiful thing this morning, the covenant we are working with is better than the covenant David was working with. And so we don't need to fight Goliath. We have already overcome Goliath. That's why I say you are more than a conqueror. So you are not even fighting to win. You are fighting from victory. You are fighting from winning because you have a better covenant.